Today, we're talking about a brand that flipped the whole script, a company that's been around since before the internet, before credit cards, before color TV, and they dropped one of the cleanest, smartest, most strategic rebrand we've seen in years. I'm talking about Western Union. That's right, Western Union. If you think this is just another logo update, think again. This is a clinic in brand transformation. So buckle up, because we're about to break down why this might be the greatest rebrand of all time. But before we get into it, be sure to support the show by giving this episode a like, leaving a comment, and of course, by subscribing. This is Ziggy The Designer, the show where we talk about the world of graphic design and the people who make it move. Design is all around us, so we might as well talk about it. If you don't know Western Union is one of the oldest and most recognized money transfer companies in the world. Founded in 1851, they built their name on wire transfers and became a global powerhouse for sending money across borders. Whether it's remittances, bill payments, or cross-country cash, Western Union has long been a go-to for moving money, especially in underserved and international markets. In 2023, they decided that it was time for a rebrand. So let's get into it. Let's kick this off right away, because when Western Union pulled up with this new identity, they didn't just change their look, they announced a new era. Right, the rebrand, designed by Love Street & Co. in collaboration with designer Darren Crescenzi, introduces a monogram that's instantly iconic. It's a sharp, geometric WU that feels like it could have been etched in stone or, tapped into a touchscreen. It's bold, it's minimal, it's powerful, right? Gone is the overly corporate, literal word mark of the past. In its place, we get a mark that says, we move money, fast, global, digital. And they didn't ditch their roots entirely, right? The familiar Western Union yellow is still front and center, but it's now paired with deep blacks and modern neutrals, right? It's like they hit refresh on a legacy without losing its soul. The typography, it's clean, it's crisp, it's sans serif, so it's legible at all scales. The iconography is custom made, and there's even animation, right? It's smooth, it's smart, and it's scalable. This isn't just a logo, it's a passport, a signal, a brand that knows exactly who it is. So why did they do it? Well, I'll give you one word here, and that word is relevance. Western Union has been around for over 170 years, but legacy doesn't pay the bills when your competitors are fintech startups moving at light speed. They weren't just tweaking the logo, they were rewriting their playbook. As mobile banking, app-based transfers, and even crypto alternatives surged, Western Union needed a visual identity that worked as hard as their business strategy. So they turned to Love Street & Co. and Darren Crescenzi to create a system that could scale across mobile, print, digital, and global markets while communicating trust and innovation, and also reclaiming a space in a market that's being eaten alive by the likes of Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Wise, and Revolut. This was a mission-critical move, not a vanity project for Western Union. So here's how you know it's working. Here's where the rubber meets the revenue. Design without results, that's just a vibe, right? But this rebrand is paying off, right? Let's look at digital engagement. We're seeing 487% increase in organic search share of voice. We're seeing over 1.4 million new social media engagements and even a 36% increase in global online media exposure. In terms of revenue growth, the customer services segment saw a 56% growth in Q4 of 2024. A new media network business played a huge role in this too. Yes, right? Western Union is following the likes of Target, Walmart, and even United Airlines in launching their own in-house media network to boost reach and revenue, and it's working for them. In terms of public and design community praise, right? This was featured in Brand New, one of the foremost thought leaders in brand design. It was also featured in Fast Company and FinTech Branding Studio. Designers and design leaders all over are praising the rebrand for its simplicity, its clarity, and its cultural impact. Even younger demographics, such as Gen Z and younger millennials, responded positively to the monogram-led aesthetic here. So this isn't just a rebrand that looks good, right? It's a rebrand that's working across all key performance indicators. And here's why it's the best rebrand of all time. Here's the take that's going to ruffle some feathers. Western Union's rebrand is the most aware, business-savvy design shift in the modern era. And let's put it up next to some of the design giants, right? Uber, for example, right? Clean, it's modern, but it's also chaotic, right? They've changed their look more times than they've fixed their pricing model. At times, it feels like Uber was just throwing logos at the wall to see what stuck. Let's look at Google, right? A massive shift when they dropped the old serif word mark in 2015. They opted for a typeface that was bold, that was flat, that was future friendly. But here's the thing. Google was already winning at the time. That rebrand didn't have to work hard. It wasn't answering a business challenge, right? This was a vanity project. And Pepsi, right? Look, I'm into the Pepsi rebrand. The nostalgia play works. The boldness is there, but let's be honest. What did they do other than bring back something old? What's really new here? What ground is being broken? It's retro with new lighting, right? The vibe is fresh, but the vision isn't there. Now, Western Union, that is a statement. They took a 170-year-old legacy brand and dragged it into the future without losing an ounce of who they are. That is the execution of a perfect rebrand. They cleaned it up, scaled it across platforms, and tied it to digital transformation and revenue growth. This isn't just a rebrand. This is the rebrand. But what do you think of Western Union's rebrand? Do you agree with me that it's the greatest of all time? Or do you think I'm absolutely crazy and that another rebrand deserves this title? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That's all I have for you. Be sure to give this episode a like, subscribe, and share. I've been Ziggy the Designer. If there are two things you need to know about me, it's that 1, I love design, and 2, I'm very opinionated. I'll talk with y'all later. Bye-bye.